Welcome to Unqualified Critics, and this is David talking to you again about Burger Time. Now, I previously reported there was a fix coming for the Burger Time control issue, and if you're not familiar with what that is, well, the fundamental problem is this. Burger Time comes with 4 games: Burger Time itself, Karate Champ, Caveman Ninja, and Bad Dudes. Bad Dudes, Caveman Ninja, those are 8-way joystick games. They use all 8 directions on a modern arcade joystick, whereas Karate Champ and Burger Time are actually 4-way games. And so if you're not familiar, think about it this way. When you play Pac-Man, you can only move the joystick up and to the left, right, or down. You cannot move it to any of the diagonal directions. And if you were to open up that Pac-Man, what you would see is the restrictor gate, which is the piece that controls the directions you can push your joystick. That gate is diamond shaped. It's a square just turned vertically. It's the same thing as an 8-way cabinet just turned vertically. Now you could turn it on its side and now it's a square again, and now it's an 8-way. You can properly pull off diagonals. But for Pac-Man, you want a diamond shape. That's exactly what you want for Burger Time and Karate Champ. And there is a very specific issue at play if you try to play Burger Time with an 8-way stick. It's very tough to hit the ladders because you have to push the joystick directly up. If you push the joystick over to any other direction, any diagonal direction, it simply will not register a press. So it makes the game feel very clunky, which is fine if you're playing at a Legends Ultimate because you're playing potentially hundreds of games and you probably don't expect the controls to be perfectly optimized for any one game. But if you're playing a cabinet that's modeled after the original Burger Time and it only includes a few games anyway, and if you're like me, you really just bought the game for Burger Time. The other games are nice to have, don't get me wrong, but you really bought it because you want a good Burger Time experience, then you really need the controls to match that. All right, now that that's out of the way, Arcade1up has seen the feedback. They've heard from the community on the Facebook official group and other outlets, and they promised a fix. True to their word, they did send something out, and I have to give them some credit. It came very fast. It came today. I figured this would take months to get something out to people. This was automatic. From what I'm hearing, everyone who bought Burger Time has received or is going to receive this fix. They don't have to create a customer service ticket, so they handled it the right way. And again, hats off to them for getting everything together logistically to send out 3,000 or I guess 1,000 of these fixes while everybody's in quarantine. That's pretty cool. So I don't want to seem like I'm crapping on Arcade1up here, but guys, I have to tell you, this fix is not much of a fix. It remains a huge compromise. All they've done is provided an octagonal restrictor gate. So I mentioned 4-way, I mentioned 8-way. There's also an 8-way restrictor gate that is not square, it's octagonal. And if you're an arcade enthusiast, you're already familiar with octagonal gates. They're very popular in American fighting cabinets. And I like them. It's actually what I bought for my Capcom 12-in-1 cabinet, and it's also what I bought for my Marvel fighting cab. So I think they're great restrictor gates. I'm happy to have 4 extras. They're not actually Sanwa brand, I don't think, but they look really good. They even include a switchable centerpiece. If you were going to buy these on your own, you'd be paying $9 per set of 2, and they give you 4 here. So it's an $18 product for free. So that's cool. Well, what's my issue then? Well, my issue is it remains an 8-way gate, and it's a little bit better to play with these than with a full square gate, but it's not that much different. I thought we'd be getting some kind of custom fix. I'll put this up on the screen. There's a do-it-yourself solution that someone created and then printed with a 3D printer. I have this solution, but I'm still waiting on magnets that fit it. I waited to order it until after, I guess, Amazon slowed down all their non-essential shipments. So it might be another month before I get those magnets and I can actually test this out. I think that solution will work. I've seen video footage of it working nicely. In short, you have a joystick that you can key into the restrictor gate and then rotate it, and it actually spins the gate from square to diamond back again. It's pretty slick. Whoever invented this thing's a damn genius. But it's not a product you can buy off the shelf. You have to either have a 3D printer or go through a 3D printer service. Then you've got to buy the magnets, glue it all together, and hope it holds. The other thing, there are at least 2 commercial joysticks. There are 2 that I know of that you can switch without taking apart the control panel. And the one that you can buy today, the other one's out of stock, but the one you can buy today is the Ultimark Magstick Plus. It's an interesting product. I've not used it myself. It doesn't work with traditional switches or actuators. It works with magnetic connection, and the stick self-centers with a magnet, not with a spring. So it's a little bit different, I guess. From what I've heard, it feels different than a normal joystick. Problem with that though, really, is that it doesn't have a 5-pin connector that you would get with a Sanwa stick. And the Burger Time uses Sanwa clones, which have 5-pin connectors. So if you bought this, you can make it work with the PCB Burger Time comes with, but you're gonna have to splice some wires. Not everybody is comfortable with that. I'm not really comfortable with that. So that's why I went and ordered these custom 3D printed restrictor plates. All that said, I'm really disappointed Arcade1up didn't do something like those 3D restricted plates. They shouldn't cost that much to manufacture. Yeah, they're a custom part. You can't buy them off the shelf. At the same time, if you want to mix 4-way and 8-way games together, you really need a high quality dedicated solution. And that's what that 3D printed piece offers. I really thought we'd get something like that. In a previous Retro Buzz episode, this came up and John D responded that they're working on a fix. One of the panelists on Retro Buzz said, well, why don't you get something that goes over top the control panel and sort of from above the surface of the panel restricts you into 4-way or 8-way movement. And they said, yeah, we looked into that, but we think that's kind of the chintzy solution. We want to do something better. So again, I really thought we were getting something custom, not these octagonal gates. I just wanted to get this out there real quick. You guys can let me know what you think. I'm hoping, got my fingers crossed, that we hear from Arcade1up that this is a temporary solution and they actually are working on a custom fix, which would take a lot more time. But I'm not going to hold my breath. I am going to wait to receive my magnets and I'll do the custom fix. And if that works as well as I think it does, I'll be sure and let you guys know about it. But thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you later.